707,000 university graduates are now out of work and claiming benefits. It's a rise of 46% since 2019. Level 4 apprentices earn £5,000 a year, more than university graduates after 5 years. So it's not surprising that more students are starting to ask difficult questions.
If I completed a degree 9 months later, would I be in a job in that field?
Political philosophers have been asking this question for decades. What is university actually for? University was meant to broaden access based on talent and effort, not your wealth or background. Initially, it was designed to act as an engine of upward mobility, especially for low and middle income students. Its value was never only economic, it was for intellect and for life skills. It wasn't meant to be a gamble. To understand why so many students are questioning whether university is worth it, you have to take a look at what it costs to simply stay afloat. According to the NatWest Student Living Index of 2025, nearly half of all students now run out of money before the end of term. 31% have reduced the number of meals they eat each day. A quarter have cut back on heating. Students aren't just budgeting harder, they're cutting down on essentials. And that being said, unsurprisingly, rent is the biggest pressure point. The average student rent across the UK now sits at £526 a month, and in London that rises to £742. For a growing number of students, university now means juggling full-time study with paid work.
I applied to multiple jobs. A lot of them never heard anything back. But the other answer I kept getting was, we don't take students on because they're not here all year round, or we don't offer 0-hour contracts that suit students.
27% took on a job this year, another 18% increased their working hours. Financial pressure is bleeding into academic life.
I was later in degree, say third year, in the middle of a dissertation, and I was working part-time, and my employer's like, we need you to do 25 hours this week. Then yes, it would interfere with my studies.
Almost 1 in 3 students say that they'd consider leaving their course early because of money worries.
After a year, I dropped out. You hear about university, oh, it's the best time of your life, you'll make loads of friends, you'll be out all the time, everyone's so friendly. No, I didn't have that.
And only 35% say they actually enjoy studying for their degree that they're paying for.
Everything that I thought it was going to be. Like, it was a good course when I decided to go. I mean, it wasn't, everything I'd wished for. I thought I'd go in there, get a job, get money, and
I got the good idea, like, oh, I'll go to Manchester, new city, have a nice life, have a good social life, live a good life, get on well, get a degree and get a good job.
Students internalise this logic because they're taking on a real financial risk. And when survival takes over, education becomes secondary and the promise collapses. So that's essentially the reality of modern day students, cutting back, stretching money, and just trying to get by. How did it get this expensive in the first place? Well, we can take a look at tuition fees. They've not always looked like this. They were first introduced in 1998 at around £1,000 a year. That later rose to £3,000 before a major turning point in 2012, where fees in England jumped to a whopping £9,000, which is a bit more familiar with what we know today. And today they sit at just over £9,500. Tuition fees are only part of the picture. The bigger pressure comes from maintenance loans, the money that is meant to cover rent, food and daily life.
My accommodation for the year was £7,200, and I got just under £9,000 for the year. £1,800 across 8 months for food, social life, petrol, anything generic that the student loan goes on. £1,800 once your rent's gone is all I had.
This was introduced in 2016 after maintenance grants were scrapped and they were replaced with loans, meaning that students now borrow to live, not just to study. And that's where the debt really builds. The average graduate now leaves university owing around £50,000 before interest. So while fees have risen over time, it's the cost of living and the need to borrow more to cover it that's driving student debt higher than ever. And for many, that raises a bigger question. Not just how much university costs, but whether it's worth it at all. Higher education has expanded far beyond traditional academic subjects like law and engineering to more specialised subjects like brewing, esports, surf science, and even the Beatles' cultural heritage. For some students, that choice is a strength, and others might be questioning what exactly are you paying for? The issue isn't whether these subjects have value, it's whether students are getting a clear understanding of what the value of their degree really is. Because even with more established field, the outcomes vary significantly on a case-to-case basis. Degrees like journalism, the arts, and parts of humanities often lead to careers that are competitive, uncertain, and, at least early on, relatively low paid. And in some cases, students are entering industries where there are simply fewer postgrad roles available. That means more competition, more unpaid experience, and offer a longer path to stable employment. That's quite a profound shift. So when education is sold like an investment, students will start treating it like one.
I only know one person from my course who graduated, who is now working in that industry. No one else, from what I've seen on social media, is in that industry or working in degree-related work whatsoever. And I keep getting the same answer when I ask what's happened, and it's employers want experience, employers want experience, employers want experience. But how do we get the experience if the employers are not offering entry-level roles?
700,000 graduates are now claiming benefits. 110,000 under 30s are claiming at least one benefit without being in work. University was sold as a pathway to opportunity, a clear route from education to employment. Multiple universities were contacted for comment, but no reply was given. Interesting. The National Union of Students and multiple student unions of universities across the country were contacted for comment, but no comment was given. It wasn't meant to be a gamble, but for many students today, that's exactly what it's
And I was
become.
stuck in that room 95% of the time on my own in a city that's 4 hours away from where I live, where I don't know anyone.
I mean, second year for me was kind of a struggle anyway. I was just kind of a bit depressed second year. I thought I have to knuckle down now and get this done.
Big problem with me was my course was absolutely hindered by strikes. It was strike, and nothing in terms of compensation. Nothing like we'll reimburse tuition fees, or we'll take content out of your exams, or we'll offer lectures at a different time, or one-to-one sessions. Nothing. Absolutely no compensation. And that's a Russell Group University I was at as well.
A retired senior university professor who wished to remain anonymous told me that things have changed indeed in regards to university being a fair deal across the board. But if a scam is deliberate deception, well, this isn't that. But when the deal changes and the price stays the same or even goes up, people might feel misled.
When they came up and I explained everything to them, I'm like, I don't want to do this. I can't be dealing with these strikes, and I can't be dealing with the lack of money, and I can't be dealing with the poor social life I've got.
So, when students talk about university feeling like a scam, it's not because they've stopped believing in education, it's because the cost of getting this education no longer matches the reality that they have to live through.